Hello, beautiful souls. I am Saraharyana, and in this video, we're talking about Atlantis and the return of ancient codes. You may be finding right now, whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter, there is a shift and a remembrance of Atlantis rising once again. There have been some of us that have been doing behind the scenes work in regards with Atlantis, taking a really deep dive back to the ending. Atlantis rose a few times and also has fallen a few times, but the very last ending we dove into, and this can be triggering. This is a disclaimer. This can be triggering for some, and in the description box below I'll place where the light language for the healing begins if you'd like to skip past the trauma part that we're going to be talking about very briefly. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we dove briefly into Lemuria, and the information came in. There was a lot of healing that came forward regarding some of the breeding that occurred against the divine feminine's will. We didn't have a say in this, and it was a very dark time. And that was also at the end of Lemuria. And now it's coming forward, it's rising up, and it's the healing of what occurred at the very end of Atlantis. So this is very important. Only take what resonates with you. We're going to begin with a message from the divine that came in. I'm going to briefly talk about some of the work that some of us has done behind the scenes, and also continue to work. There's wonderful souls that are really focused on Atlantis right now, and it is for the benefit of the whole, for the collective. So this is the message first from the divine. Atlantis codes are now rising. The high priestesses and priestesses and lineages will feel this within their energy fields and within their physical vessels, and can specifically feel this in the womb, the heart, and the third eye. The draconian reptilian false matrix of the Atlantean Codes has ended. The return of the Atlantean Codes are here. And the Atlantean Codes are crystalline technology within the vessel of the high priestesses. Codes, crystalline codes of awakened wisdom and galactic knowledge are embedded in their DNA, as they held the original divine blueprint of Earth. The fall of Atlantis began with a plan long ago to copy the original divine blueprint of Earth. In order to do this, they took the 12 high priestesses with AI technology and held them against their will, using their bodies this whole time with dark armor, and filled their bodies full of a black substance that was used for mind control. This ended on May the 26th of 2026. The return of the Atlantean Codes are here. There will be waves of remembrances coming forward to those that were at Atlantis for the men and women that were there. Physical sensations can occur at this time in the hands, the feet, the womb, the heart, and the third eye. It does not matter if you are a man or a woman who does not have a physical womb. This is energetic. The codes are being remembered that were shut down when the fall occurred. There were several falls in Atlantis. It's getting really hot in here. The one we speak of is shutting down the original divine blueprint of Earth. Many codes, portals, wisdom keepers, and sacred texts were either destroyed, shut down, or hidden to protect the divine feminine creation codes, the divine feminine and divine masculine union codes, and the crystalline communication technology of the divine. So again, this was to protect the divine feminine and creation codes, the divine feminine and divine masculine union codes, and the crystalline communication technology of the divine. This is now unlocked. The Atlantean codes are rising and being remembered now. For the draconian and reptilian controls are no more. There is no more hiding for the draconians and reptilians. Your leaders on Earth, sports players, musicians, singers, actors, actresses, CEOs, billionaires, will be revealed. The great awakening of Earth is here. Humanity will now see the truth of what was hidden right in front of them all of this time. And let's go briefly into what occurred, furthering the message from the divine. There was 100% the most beautiful golden age in Atlantis. And the fall generally occurred with beings coming in with ego, with experimentation, with humans, with animals. And on May the 26th of 2026 is when we took the deep dive into what happened. And for some of us that were there, that were the priestesses, the high priestesses. And again, it doesn't matter if you're a man listening to this video, because you may have been a high priest, a high priestess. It doesn't matter. We all have the divine feminine within each one of us, and the divine masculine. And they took the 12 priestesses that held, it was within their physical bodies. It was within the cells. It was within the DNA, the codes, this crystalline technology. And there was, very similar to Lemuria, there was a shot that went into the neck. And then they put on this armor. Now the armor, some of you know this, that there was like this big, it was like around the neck armor. There were caps on the head. There was along the spine. Again, against our will. We did not have a say in this. And then through the needle, through the injection in the neck, there was this, it was a black substance, as the divine was communicating, that went in. And this was used for mind control. So these 12 priestesses that held the codes, that held this original divine blueprint, these beings came in and then used the mind control and then created this false matrix to thus control humanity. And this was released. It was extremely painful. It was emotional. It was freeing. And this happened on May the 26th, where this ended. And then this crystalline technology was once again activated. So within this unlocking, these remembrances are really coming up right now for so many of us that were at Atlantis. There is this rising. And it's not necessarily the physical place of Atlantis that is arising. It is the essence, it's the energetic blueprint that is rising within each one of us. There's freedom, there's codes that are coming in. And it is the awareness of how much more powerful we are. And it is also the remembrance of the crystals, of the crystalline technology as well, that is within each one of us. So there was 2 weeks ago, and I'll post the link down below in the description box. When we took the deep dive, there was a couple of us that took the deep dive into Lemuria and into the breeding programs, and then brought healing into this once again, and this stopped. Again, now we're moving forward into this healing for those of us that are remembering being there. And it is also this activation of the codes that are rising within us. So for those of you that haven't listened to the divine feminine and divine masculine union codes as light language, again, the link will be down below. And this video is about the remembrance now of the Atlantean codes within each one of us, and it is also the healing. There's healing that needs to come in, for it was a very, very dark time. And there is celebration now to be had, that we need to rise above this now and remember the codes that are within each one of us. So this is a light language that is coming forward. And again, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. This is for all, because we all have the divine feminine and divine masculine within us. So I recommend, this is a very sacred light language, and you can create a very healing space around you. I recommend listening to this when it's quiet for you and you won't have any distractions. And you may even want to smell rose before listening to this, bringing a rose in, smelling the rose, really bringing in that essence of the rose. I highly recommend that as well. If you don't have a rose near you, opening up to that, and you can communicate to the rose itself, asking the rose essence to flow in within our vessels, within our energy fields, within our energy centers. It's so beautiful, the rose, extremely healing. So let us begin, and you can either lie down, sit, close your eyes, keep your eyes open, whatever resonates with you. And we're calling in now the codes of Atlantis and the remembrance of the crystalline energy within each one of us. And it is the divine feminine and divine masculine codes. It is the Atlantean codes. It is this remembrance of one. It is of being with Mother Gaia and the animals and the subtle realms. It's the energy of the crystals working with them once again. And really communicating with the crystals as well. Not all crystals work together well. It's tuning in and asking the crystals. And we're going to breathe in a very cleansing breath. So this is breathing in the rose, breathing in the scent of the rose deeply within our nose, into every part of the vessel. You may actually feel a rose within your heart. You may feel like you're in a rose temple. Breathing in the essence of the rose here. Now, some of you we're moving now into Atlantis, and some of you may actually see that you are a priestess. Again, it doesn't matter if you're male or female, around a very large crystal here. And some of you were around the priestesses holding this space as you were the priestesses, initiates into becoming a high priestess. So really feeling we're right now in the essence. We're at Atlantis, and we're around this beautiful, magnificent, clear quartz crystal. And there are some that are wearing, all of the high priestesses are wearing this it's a gold with a clear quartz here in the center, or several crystals here. It's a gold piece around the head. Really tuning into this energy now. It's the purity of the rose. You can feel the crystals here. You can feel the large crystal that's in front of us. We're in a circle here. Yasanyana Leona Yana Yana Yoma Shiana. The ceremony begins. Ashiona Yana Liana Siuma Yana. Their remembrance is here. Shono Yono Yoma Yana Yo. Shana Yana Yoma Yo. Shana Yana Yana Yo. Shana Yana Yana Yo. So there's an activation going on. The crystalline codes are activating. You may actually feel there's a crystalline essence moving into the palms, moving into the feet. You can feel some of you may get really, really warm, hot here. It flows up in through the feet. Is it flowing up into the blood? It's moving now, moving deeply into the womb space. Into the heart. Rose is very smelt here. Really, you can really smell the rose. It's enveloping us here. Moving into the third eye. Rose codes are flowing now. They're weaving. There's rose codes flowing and weaving within us now. Breathing really deeply here, kindly, lovingly. The sisterhood is here. The brotherhood is here. Union is here. Deep love for all, unity. And this is this awakening of this crystalline technology within. And the responsibility of this, the responsibility to care for our thoughts, for our intentions, for our essence, for our purity. There is this understanding, knowledge, and awareness that arrives once again. So taking a long, deep breath in through the nose and visualizing the breath moving into the third eye. And there's an opening and awakening here, the remembrance of the Atlantean codes here. Yushuno totakana tatakio no totoko na tatatakia sanatarona takarona tokorona shum yumainayum. So there's this opening here, and then the breath, breathe in gently, kindly, lovingly into the heart. And holding it here for a moment. Yashana tatakia sono tutukua rana sanatatakia na sorono tatakia na sanatatorona sanatatakia na orona sanatatakia na orona sanatatakia na orona. Breathing here, breathing here, breathing here. Breathing, breathing, breathing. There's an opening, awakening, activation within the heart. And we're breathing now, once again, in through the nose and all the way into the womb space, holding it here. Exhaling out when you're ready, but continuing to breathe into the womb, holding it and exhaling out. Shona yasatatakia shorono shia. So a deep grounding and anchoring is taking place here. Shona sana shiorono shia, sana shiorona sia, shonodrona sia. Healing. There's a huge amount of healing that is taking place. So shiona sanandatakiana, soothing, shonotatakoayana. So much trauma being held against our will for so long that we could do nothing as this false matrix came forward with control, manipulation. We release this now. We release this. We rise above this. We remember, we remember, we remember. And the codes of the rose flow in here. Deep healing, soothing, nurturing energy, holding us in the purity of love, in the essence of love, the remembrance of love. There's a weaving now. There's a weaving of healing flowing in from the third eye, the heart, the womb, and it moves into the hands. It moves into the soles of the feet. This is crystalline energy of love, of light, of unity, of peace, of freedom, the remembrance of freedom. Shana sanatat kio rona shiananatat kiana sonyuma yanatanatat kiana shiuma yanatanatat kiana shiuma liananana yanana yuma mama yama mama yanana yanana yuma mama yanana yanana mama shionana yanana yanana mama yanana yuma yanana yuma yum 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 yum. Breathe in here and long exhale out. Breathing in, receiving the codes now, receiving and remembering the codes. It's safe now. It's safe. It's safe. It's safe. Shanayana liana yana yana na 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 yum. Breathing in and letting go. Taking a few moments to come back into the space you're in. You may feel activations now deep within the root, a pulsation in the tailbone area or in other energy centers. It is really trusting the vessel, trusting our bodies in the remembrance of these activations, of the healing, of the holding. It's also the remembrance of the rose codes, of the Atlantean codes that are now rising, that are here. And you may find that after listening to this transmission that there are remembrances and memories that arrive. You may find that you have dreams that come up. The remembrances of who you are, the sisterhoods, the brotherhoods, of kindness, of compassion, of love, peace and freedom. And this arrives once again. We rise above. We rise above what has occurred. We don't forget, but it's time now. It's time now to remember. Very emotional. We recommend after this transmission as well to ground your energy. If it's available to you, walk barefoot on the earth. Stand barefoot on the earth for a few breaths. Maybe you want to put your palms on the earth as we thank Mother Gaia. You may want to breathe again in the rose and also hydrate with purified water. Blessings of love and light to all. Namaste.